Incredible greetings. Hello, everyone. Incredible greetings. Let's see. Alrighty. Go over here. End up with a message right as I was about to go live. All right. So right as I went live. And this is on only me. Doesn't help it to be only on me. Let's go to public. And then let's share this out. Only me. Doesn't help it to be only on. Okay. Let's see here. There we go. Share, paste, and then let's go to the group. I don't even know if if I just did this in this group twice. It's okay. All right. All right, there we go. So, hello. Incredible greetings, everyone. I am Shakia, the professor of HSINK365. We are the home of the Honesty Speaking brand of products, 365 Creative Academy, and Sillaholics Anonymous, where I help you to unlock your creativity in a wide variety of classes and trainings. Almost forgot to grab my stand from my phone because I'm supposed to be on Tikity Talk. So let me move those out of the way. Put this on here, get it all set up. We're going to do a little Q&A. I was live earlier and we did our design challenge and I showed you guys step by step how to do the one that I posted as a text or as a regular post. So I showed that. But there were some questions that came after that, but it wasn't a general Q&A, so I could not answer those questions. And then I had someone that sent me a message, an email about a question. So we're going to address that as well and answer any other questions you guys may have. All right. So this is going to be an impromptu Q&A session. Normally I do these on Wednesday, but we're going to get it in today. All right. So, someone says I can't keep up with the lives today. Don't worry. I mean, don't feel bad if you are busy and you cannot stick around. You're working. That is perfectly okay. And you can come back and watch the playback of it. Yeah. So y'all have to remember that this is my job. Like if I could, it wasn't for like other stuff that I have to do. Like I literally would go live. Like I used to back in the day. Now business has changed a little bit and I can't do it like I used to. But if I could, I literally would be live like all day long. Like it would just be a marathon of me teaching all day long. So if I could, that's how I would do this. All right, hold on one second. Let me just get this set up over here real quick. We gotta flip this. And let me clean my camera a little bit here. All right. There we go. Okay, there we go. I just had to get that set up over here on TikTok real quick. So in case they have questions. But yeah, if I could, I would be live all day. So hello. I missed your last live. Make sure you go back and watch that because we went through step by step on how to do a specific, like a certain design. So definitely go back and catch that. And if you are enrolled in our class and you have access to the student union, there's an extended video in the student union. So definitely check that out as well. Hey. City girl, period. I posted mine to the groups. Thank you for that. Don't be shy. Drop the questions now. I promise you won't regret it. Hello, everyone. And let's go ahead and I'm going to show you guys. They already see it over on TikTok. So we're going to come off of this. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. Add to the stream. What's going on here? Why is it not showing my screen? Remove, add to the stream. Okay, that's kind of weird. All right, let's go and stop screen share screen, entire screen, add to stream. There we go. All right. Let's get into this. All right. So again, I am Shakia the Professor. I have been teaching you guys how to utilize the silhouette system when it comes to the machines. I have all 4 generations. I have the 1, the 2, the 3, and the 4. So I've done videos on teaching you how to utilize the machine for like large cutouts and small cutouts, 3D, HTV, adhesive vinyl, paper crafting. Like I've done so much with those machines. They were literally a godsend for me and our business here when we were doing events, and then when we kind of migrated over to doing shirts and apparel and things of that nature, and then transitioning into doing a lot more sublimation. I've always been able to do all of this from Silhouette Studio. So for me, it started off as wanting it for paper crafting and paper layering, and then doing some print and cuts of actual printed items, whether it's for cupcake toppers, centerpieces, large, cutouts, gift boxes, and then it just kind of grew from there. And then my next thing was incorporating adhesive vinyl. Then I incorporated HTV. Then I incorporated sublimation, and so forth and so on. So I've been teaching this software for about 8 years now. I've been using it for a little under 10, because my niece just turned 9, and I got into this like when my sister was still pregnant with her. So a little under 10 years, might be at 10 years, I've been utilizing this entire system because I have a graphic designing background. I know Illustrator, Photoshop, Corel Draw. I saw the advantages, like I saw the advantage and the benefits of this system and learning, especially if you're someone that's new. I used to call it like the gateway to graphic designing because it was free. It allows you to, understand terminology and verbiage, understand design concepts. Really decent program for, for it not to be like your Photoshop's Illustrator. And it was designed for their cutter, because I've seen other cutting machines and they don't have a program that's like this. I am not sponsored in any way, shape, or form by Silhouette America. The people don't know they know I exist, but they don't, I genuinely love this software, what it can do. I've seen it change people's lives to learn it, to just get into designing. Yes, the Canvas of the world are great. Photoshop is great. Affinity, okay, but some people consider it to be great. You want to grow to learn those, but you have to start somewhere. And I've advocated for years and years and years that this is an amazing place to start learning design, starting a side hustle, a business. And I just love sharing this with others and answering your questions. Like I said, I have years of experience in using this in so many different ways. So there's not too many things that I haven't done. And then on the business side, just having that business acumen from being in the military, working at a radio station. I mean, hell, even installing home security systems and sales, working at American Airlines Arena, understanding marketing, branding, customer service, the back end of things, structuring your business, how to just be more efficient. I am a branding and marketing genius. Okay. I'm a savant. The thing, like people always say, the ideas that I come up with, I was blessed with a very creative mind, and I love sharing. Yes, it is a business for us. We do have paid classes, which, by the way, are buy one get one 50% off right now. If you buy one of our products, you can get a class for 60% off. Yes, we have that, but this is where I find joy. This is like my hobby, is to help others and answer. So if you guys have questions, now is the time to ask. Don't be shy about it. Don't feel like it's a silly question or anything like that. I am here to help. So I said all of that to now, get to where we are now. Make sure that you guys are giving this video a thumbs up. If you're watching right now, hit the thumbs up button, or the love button, the heart button. If you're on Facebook, just give it a thumbs up. On YouTube, give it a thumbs up. Share it out, tag a friend, leave a comment. Just say, hey, if this is your first time catching me live, let me know this is your first time catching me live. Even if you hit share and you just copy the link, that does help, guys. So even if you just do that, send it to yourself again, that does help. If you love the content, you would like for me to be able to continue to do this for free, show some digital love, because it makes no sense for me to get on here and I don't have an audience to talk to and to help. All right. So, Gator Girl, are you from Florida? Is that Gator as in like Florida Gators? I am in Miami Gardens, Florida. So if you are a fellow Florida girl, hey girl, hey. Hey Crystal, how art thou? I have an event center. I live in a country town. I can't get nobody to guide me. Oh, wow. Well, you have stumbled on the right live video, my dear. Even though I may not be anywhere near you, I've helped so many people from not just within this in this country. I have students who are in other parts of the world. So I can say your girl teaches internationally. Okay. So if you have questions, feel free to go ahead and post those questions. I am most definitely here to help. Okay. All right. So let's see over here on Facebook and YouTube. Let's see. Hey. She was like, they didn't change my life. You did. Aw, thank you, Miss Dawn. All right, so we're going to start right here. And this is kind of twofold, because the other day when I was showing the cutouts that were behind me, I used that to kind of break down the differences in different types of images, vector, basis raster, and even when they both are like JPEGs or PNGs, how they can be different, and different programs will give you access to different things, right? So I'm going to start here, but I don't want it to end here. I want you guys to be engaging. I want you guys to ask questions, interact. If I say something and it resonates with you, comment with what that did for you. How does it make you feel? Or, just let me know so that I know what all information you guys need to know. But I know that this was a big one. So we're going to start here. And someone also asked about like how I did these large cutouts. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. And then I am open to answering any questions that you guys have. Okay. All right. What's the first machine I can start off with for printing? You got to give me a little bit more information on that, because what exactly are you trying to print? And then what size are you trying to print as well? Okay. So let me know that. And printers are my thing. Like I know a whole lot about printers. So I definitely can help you there. You just got to give me a little bit more insight on what it is that you're trying to do, because each printer offers something different. I mean, I've done a whole breakdown of printers, but I don't know if y'all want to go through that whole spiel. So if you can be specific, I can help you out there. Okay. Girl, I'm on here for I know it's okay. Love you, Crystal. Thank you. Thank you for that support. I can't get my Cameo 4 Plus to cut correctly or register automatically. So those type, I think you're on YouTube. I think you may have been someone that says you're not on Facebook. So I love my YouTube community and it's great for tutorials. It's not great for help and identifying what the issue may be because you cannot comment with pictures or videos unless you are going to make a video and post it to your YouTube channel. Even you don't have to make it public. You can go on there and you can put unlisted, but make a video of what exactly it is, like, what issues you're having, and then send me the link to that so that I can take a look at it. Because like on Facebook, it's a little bit different because you can create posts with videos or pictures, or you can comment with videos and pictures, and I can see exactly what you are doing. So short of setting up a one-on-one, paying for a one-on-one session so that we can go through it, you're going to have to figure out a way to show it to me. And that's the only thing that I can think of is for you to upload a video. You'll be able to put unlisted and then share that link with me so that I can see what's going on. Okay. I've gone through quite a few times as far as what I do for print and cuts. I can go over that again in this. And if that helps you, it helps you. We also have a full-fledged video on print and cut where I break it down. I'm actually teaching in that. When I do it here, I'm going to do a quick version. But in that one, I break it down. I tell you if this is happening, it's probably because of it. Like I go through it step by step. So that may help. If you've already watched that video, then I just need to see what it is that you're exactly doing. Okay. All right. Cut out floors and so far. I can continue watching. Okay. So cutouts for floor decals and things like that. So normally those are done with what's called a eco solvent, or latex printer. So I have a Roland BN20. That's like the entry model of that. It allows you to print to adhesive vinyl. And that's what you then in turn put on the floor. So that printer starts out at around like 6K. And that allows you to do up to 18. Although it says it's a 20-inch printer, it takes 20-inch media, but you really are only printing up to 8.5. Like that's pretty much like around like there's like the widest. So you'll print up to like 18.5. So if you need wider than that, now you can do a good length, but if you need wider than that, you're going to have to split it and piece it together on the floor. But that's where you can start at. So it's about $6,000 for that particular printer. And then it goes up from there. Roland has several different ones. Epson has some that you can print to. But for that one, I do like the Roland. There's actually some other brands too, but you're going to look into solvent, eco solvent, or latex printers is what you will end up doing your research on. Okay. All right. So yes, please. One day I would love a breakdown on printers, especially pigment and solvent inks. I'm looking into doing more in-house printing, not just sublimation. So I have done that one before. I can do it again, but I have done that video before where I've talked about the differences between pigment ink printers, dye-based printers, solvent printers, sublimation printers, DTF printers. I actually have gone through that. Okay. Okay. So when it comes to the cutouts, these two images technically can be like some people consider to be the same, but they're not. Like they are the same pose. It's the same outfit. If you look really closely, I mean, down to the little pudge right here on Mickey, like right here and here, they are the same. But the differences in this is how they are set up. Yes, there are defined, like there are lines to separate and to show depth to the picture. But what this one has is a lot of shading. So that can be from making a shape and doing blurs, normally like a Gaussian blur, or it can be from using a brush tool and special brushes, like because this like it has like a little bit of texture to it, and they will kind of brush in and use blend modes in Photoshop. So a lot of times images like this right here will start off where it is what's called vectorized. Right now, both of these are flattened. Both are basically a bitmap rasterized image, and they're flattened. You can't physically go in and make like certain changes, like they're not in layers or anything like that. They're all flattened. So in this case, they're both the same. They both can be JPEGs, they both can be PNGs, which means the outline around it would be transparent. Now, this can technically, if you do a little bit of tracing, which I didn't do it fully, but I just want to, I guess, kind of want to show you where if you take your time, you can trace this one to be able to start to fill it in with different colors and vectorize it. So when it is a vector setup, you will be able to click on individual for lack of better words, layers. So click on the individual pieces and you would be able to change the colors. That is what it truly like when something is vectorized. You're making it to where you can fill it in with a solid color, okay? Every part of it, and it's layered. Now, the one right here, you could go in and change colors on it if you had the actual Photoshop file where every part of this would have its own layer. So like, or even like in Procreate, they would have the back layer that's black. Then you would have the layers for like the darker green. And then you're going to have a layer on top of that. That would be where you're going to brush in like the lighter greens or lighter browns. So every part of this one would be set up in different layers. But you can see here. So if you look right in here and then you look here, it's creating a highlight and you can create shadows. So we have, I'm not actually sure if this is really a shadow right here. I think this would be a shadow because I think the actual outfit is probably the lighter green, and then the darker green is a shadow versus it being a darker green and the lighter green is highlights. So I don't know how the person originally set this up, but this is just another shape and it's put over it and it's filled in with a darker color to create that depth. Whereas over here, it's shading. Do you guys see the difference in that part of these two and how they are set up? So they kind of sort of look the same, but they're not. They started from the same base image and then shading with a program like Photoshop. This right here can be done in, technically it could have been drawn out like in Silhouette Studio or Illustrator or Affinity, even Procreate, because you're just drawing the lines and you're creating those different layers and then you're going to fill them in with color. But then once you come here, you're either using brushes, you're using Gaussian blurs. And so there's no defined stopping point for any of these colors. So we could not take this one and trace it. So I'm going to put my box around this. I got to wait for it to process. And I'm going to take up my threshold. I'm going to take down my threshold. So we can see the defined areas on this one, how it picks up on the nose. All of the lines will pick up. Whereas over here, you don't necessarily get that. A lot of the colors blend together. So even as I take this threshold down, it would be almost impossible for me to get from just using the trace tool a trace on this to isolate those areas and fill them in with color because everything just blends together. There is no hard separation. Okay. Now this can go like this is just an imagery, but even when it comes to, oh Lord, on the business side, these logos that y'all have created and they're just giving you a flattened version that already has glitter and textures and black backgrounds. That is not good when you're in business. I was like, wait, why in the heck it looks is tilting? When you're in business, you want to have a vector-based logo that you can easily manipulate. Okay. So that's something that's really important, even outside of just characters or just files for shirts and things like that, for tumblers. For your business, you want to have a vectorized version, and you want to have one that is amped up and beefed up, and it has, they put a little bit more razzle dazzle on it, making it 3D and making it stand out for graphic and visual purposes, but it's made at its core from a vector design. Okay. So I just wanted to break that part down as far as the two images. And then when you are, like, let's say if you're making invitations, you're making tumblers, you're making shirts, you're doing shirts for, a family that's going on a trip, we have to be mindful about the images that we mix together, because there's two sets. Like for all of the characters, there's both of these. So if you have the Goofy, that's, hold on. So you're like, if you're going to search the internet, you're, not going to maybe purchase a file pack that has all of them in there. You may end up with the Goofy that's like this. He matches. Come on, what's going on here? It might shut down on me because everything is now taking a little bit longer to click on. So eventually it might shut down, but that's okay. I'm probably going to shut it down and answer some other questions and then come back in. I think you can see I had way more tabs open than this, and it can be kind of wonky sometimes. So this is tripping. Okay, so let's just go file, because it's going to shut down on me, like I already know. So let's just save this one. Let's go file, save as. I'm going to put live demo so I can come back to this one. Oh, it is acting cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. All right, so Safari Friends. Ooh. Live demo. Come on. Okay. And I think I need this one too. So we're just going to exit out of that one. Okay, no, this is the live from earlier today. I don't need to save that. Let's see. Okay, I don't technically need that one. No. I've already resized these, but I'm going to save this just in case she needs to reorder. Code Disney vacay shirt print files. Actually meant to. So yes, baseball. No, let me see. Baseball. I want to put for foam board. Okay. Foam board number. And I already have the one that I need, so I don't need that one. And this one we're going to save as images to live demo. All right. I had to save those because I don't want to take the chance of it not picking up from recovered documents. I'm just going to shut down Silhouette Studio. And we're going to open up it again. All right, so let's see. While I'm waiting for that, she says, I'm sick, I'm missing all of this. You can always go back and watch the playback. So over here, I see I need to learn how to use my silhouette. Well, you are in the right place, Tamisha. You are in the right place. I've been teaching this for about 8 years. I've been using it for about 10 years. And I have everything from how to use the software to using the machine. I encourage learning the software. The machine part, it's fairly easy to figure out. It's understanding to design and how to set up your designs, and then the machine just cuts. It does what it does. I mean, there's troubleshooting, so you'll learn more. Like, there's more to learning to troubleshoot than it is to actually using the machine, but you are in the right place. Feel free to ask all the questions that you need. Okay. So Go says they are new here. Welcome, welcome in. All right. So no more questions over there. Okay. Come on now. Open back up. Any questions while we're waiting for it to open up? Yes, this is Photoshop. As you can see, I do use that for my thumbnails. Okay, so let's go over here and open recent live demo. Incredible afternoon, Christine's Unique Creations. What type of unique creations do you make? Do you use Silhouette Studio or Silhouette Cameo for those unique creations? Do you do sublimation, eco solvent print, DTF transfers, screen print transfers? What kind of unique creations do we make, and what platforms do we use? Photoshop with Silhouette Pro. Oh yeah, I use a combination of Illustrator, Photoshop, Silhouette Studio, InDesign, and I don't really use CorelDRAW as much anymore, but sometimes in Canva. Each program offers different things. Like, there's different benefits to each one. So yes, I pay annually for Canva, and we just changed where we paid annually for Photoshop, but it's like basically paying that monthly fee for Photoshop. My CorelDRAW is, I think, monthly. Yeah. So I pay for each one of them because, and Silhouette Studio, of course, is free, and it's just a one-time payment for Designer Plus, or Business, but I use each one for different purposes. How do you add more than one pic on a canvas? It allows me to only open one file at a time. So if you go File, Open, that is true. You're going to only open, so you're going to only be able to open one file at a time. But File, Open will open it up in a different window. So whether it is a JPEG, a PNG, another Silhouette file, if it's an SVG file, whatever it is, it will open it up in another window. However, if you go File, Merge, so we're going to go Merge, and you open up a file. So I think that one was like a regular picture file. Now I'm going to open up a Silhouette file. So you can see that it doesn't matter if you mix and match the files. So I'm going to come here and let's open up. What do we want to open up? I mean, something that has a lot of design elements to it. Okay, let's just open up this one. All right, so I'm going to open this up right on here, and you're going to see that it opens it in the same window. See, there we go. So Merge will allow you to open that up. Another thing that you can do is you can have your design, like you can have your folder open, and then you're going to drag and drop, and it's going to open it in that particular window. Okay, wait, let me do Mickey and Pluto because it was acting dumb. Okay, there we go. So that's another way that you can open up multiple things in a file. Okay. Let's see. Yes, a little of everything. Silhouette, Photoshop, Canva, Cricut, Design Space. Okay, awesome, awesome. Okay, so no other questions over here. All right, so let's go back to here. So if you have something where like you're searching for files and you end up with this Goofy, which he matches the style of this Mickey. What we don't want to do is mix this style Mickey with this style Goofy. They are two totally different styles and they stand out. Unfortunately, I see that a lot with people who are making shirts, event planners, when they're making cupcake toppers or backdrops. It is one of the things that I'm not going to lie, it grinds my gears. Some people say mind your business, but it grinds my gears as someone who has a love for designing. It's like it just doesn't match, and sometimes people just don't know, and sometimes people are just lazy. Same thing where this one would match this particular Mickey, right? Because we see the sharp, like the nice defined lines. It has endpoints and things like that. We don't want to mix this with this type of Mickey. And I'll show you an example of that. And that is, I don't know if this one was like that, but I know it's the one inside the car. Oh, this is also what I was referring to yesterday when I was like, you can't really take this type of image and then put it on a very realistic jungle background. It just stands out like a sore thumb and it just looks very weird. So you want to find a background that complements it and that's in kind of like the same type style. This is a lot of realistic imagery. Look at, and this is not something I put together. Somebody already did this. So look at Daisy over here by this tree and it just looks out of place. So sometimes people will just go and just throw things on there. And it's, might just be, not knowing any better and stuff like that, but they'll just throw it on any backdrop. And that really makes a difference. And you would think that customers don't. Now, maybe a low ticket or low end type of customer who it's probably a nickel and dime, not looking to really spend that kind of money. They're not going to notice anything. But those high-end clients, trust and believe, they definitely notice. They notice things like that just seems out of place. So if I go to, what's the other one? This one. Again, guys, this is an open Q&A. I'm going to be wrapping up this one pretty soon. So we want to have the next question that we're going to go to. So have those questions ready. You can post them ahead of time. You don't have to wait for me to finish answering one question or one topic to post your question because I will go back to it. So we want to make sure that we do have questions to go to once I'm done with this section. Okay. So if I were to take a look at this one has like 3 different styles, 3 different ones, right? So we have the Mickey, and we have this hat that is not in the right spot. It's curving over the forehead instead of being behind the ears. So there's, that part of this. Then we have the Mickey and like the way his face is kind of cut off here. We have the Pluto, who is complete, like he is line art, whereas Mickey and Minnie are that one that's kind of like the Photoshop, like it's like the bitmap, the rasterized type one with brushes and fades and blurs and stuff. So that's a different style. And then you have Goofy, I think Daisy might be in the same style as them, but there's more saturation in the color for Mickey and Minnie than it is Daisy. So it does look like a disconnect. And then for Donald and Goofy, they are line style, but they're not even like this line style because over here, instead of using like similar colors, like using a yellow, a dark yellow, and then a lighter yellow, it's like weird gradients in there. So it's so it's literally 4 different styles in this image. This one has an outline around it and the other ones do not. You would think that does not matter, but when you want to go after those high-end clients who will spend money, they're gonna hit the roof seeing things like this, because it's like, I paid too much money for this to look like it was thrown together. And this is why, although it's not me showing you how to make it or put it together, I like showing examples like this so that you can understand. I mean, and then to try and cram all of them in there. And I guess it was this, they were trying to make it to where you can see everybody. Daisy looked like she about to hit the ground. Like she's literally hanging outside of this Jeep. Then when you talk about proportions, the size of the Jeep and then the size of the characters there, it's not proportional. These are things that are very important when it comes to designing and understanding these concepts, which is why I teach foundations of designing, so that we don't make mistakes like this. I mean, we don't know any better, but once you know better, you do better. I'm a strong believer in that. And this was just a really good example of that, where it kind of just comes together like we're just throwing things together, not really recognizing the different, like not understanding the different file types and design styles. So let me ask this question. Before this example, are you someone that understood design styles? And you can, before now, would you be able to really identify the fact that there are 4 to 5 different styles going on with this? Would you have noticed that it's supposed to be sitting on the head, and the way that this is, it's like the safari is like sitting on her forehead, like the cap is sitting on her forehead? Do you guys see what I'm referring to? Like when I'm trying to break down this image, I am not trying to cut down any designer, whoever put it together. I'm pretty sure they were super, super proud of themselves. And even when someone attempts to do this, I still applaud it, because you have some people who are afraid to even attempt to put this many things together. Now, although we applaud the attempt as an instructor, as the professor, I have to educate so that we understand why this is not the best way to go. So someone said they wouldn't even notice if I didn't tell them, that they would not even notice it. And then you have some people that will notice it. And the people that will notice it might be your big break for that big order. And they're looking at it and they're like, what the hell is this? When they're asking to see your portfolio of work, and they have knowledge and experience. So those who may not be experienced in it may not notice it. And if you're okay with keeping that clientele that does not notice the small things like this, well, to me, it's not small. I think it's a big thing. But those clients that may not notice it, those aren't going to be the clients that are going to give you big time money. I noticed it. The first 2 things I noticed was the cap and the Daisy look like she doesn't belong at all. Exactly. Like it's like she's just literally hanging out. They make a sharp turn. Daisy is about to go flying out the Jeep. All right. So I just wanted to kind of take the time to break that down as far as different styles, because that came up in the live video. Was it yesterday, day before yesterday? Just about the different, like someone said, well, I want to know the difference in file styles. So vector versus JPEG versus PNG, line art versus rasterized and bitmap type images. And so this to me was a good representation of all of those different design styles and techniques. I did think Daisy was placed wrong, though. Also, the dog. Okay. All right. So the next question that came from showing that was, well, how do I make this a standee? And it was kind of crazy because I didn't remember that I had one that had like a background behind it. So previously, what I would end up doing if I with my Epson printer. So I have wide format printers, which wide format is it can print 11 by 17, 13 by 19 inches wide, up to 47 inches long. A large format would be your 24, your 36, your 40s, your 60s, and things like that. But a wide format normally refers to desktop printers that allow you to print 11 by 17, 13 by 17, like larger than your 8.5-inch wide. So I had Epson 7720s. And that's pretty much what I use. I have pigment ink in them. I've done the video. I like pigment ink because it's water resistant. If it gets wet, it doesn't run. With dye-based ink, it runs. But you can only print but so big, and then those only cut up to 12 inches wide. So to do larger cutouts, I had to break it down into sections and then piece it back together. So here is what that looks like. So I always have the solid one, where this one I would either, just split it up like in just straight cuts so that I can have a background to paste everything to, or I would take my pieces, arrange them, and put them together on foam board and then cut it out. But I always have the original full size one, and I use that, like I said, to cut it up or just as a reference. And then the image then has to be broken up. So for a 31 inch, so this one was 31.768 by 17.655. So if I basically wanted a 32-inch Mickey and I only had a wide format printer, it would take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 separations. And so I would put those on my 11 by 17 or my 13 by 19. I used to use 11 by 17 or 12 by 18 paper and print them out, do a print and cut, and then piece everything together. Everything here is strategically cut out in a place where once you put it together, it would look like a natural cut line. That is one of the biggest benefits of Silhouette Studio over Cricut Design Space, because Silhouette Studio gives you edit points and it allows you to create contour cuts to go around a specific area and have that cutout, and you don't have to have a straight line. So when I put this together, yes, you're gonna, you can still, if you're right up on it, you're gonna see the cut line, but it's right at the neck. It would be right at the hat. So that would sit here, and then it's gonna cup around his head. And then you have the legs, which this one goes here, but I think I have to rotate it, because this is definitely the wrong direction. And I would rotate. Why am I doing this sideways, Jesus? There we go. Okay. So we're going to I got to look at the other one and see where this one goes. It's somewhere in here. Actually, no, this goes, okay, I know for sure this goes right here. And then this would go, I want to say, no, it's from this leg. Wait, why am I struggling? I can look at this one. Okay, so it is, I was right. So it's right there. And we're going to rotate this to like here. So once it's put back together, I mean, of course, when you have the pieces, easy to put it back together, but that's how I would do that. That's how I used to do that when I just had my wide format printer. I now have a Roland BN20. And so this one, I will be able to print this whole thing, which is the one that you guys saw yesterday. I printed that out as one big print because it's only 17 inches wide. I can print up to 18 and a half inches wide on adhesive. So when I did it this way, I didn't use sticker paper, although you technically could if you can find a wide format sticker paper, but I would print it on regular, not say regular, but I have really good quality cardstock that just had amazing colors. And then I would have to put adhesive on the back and then glue it all together. Whereas with this one, I printed on adhesive vinyl, I put it on the foam board, and then I cut it out. So now my job is like 30,000 times easier with having, and, eventually investing. I spent years and years and years doing it the piece together way. Now I have a much higher quality product, which I can technically charge more for, or even if I left it at the same amount that I was charging before, I'm still profiting more because it's less material and I'm getting them done faster. So I've upgraded. If you don't have the funds to get a Roland BN20 or any other large format, don't be afraid to outsource these things. It's going to, trust me, it is going to serve you 1,000 times more to outsource it, whether it's to Walgreens, to a print shop, to us at HS Ink Prints. But of course, we don't. Right now, we're not doing super large format. We're waiting for our to get a larger printer, but we can at least do your up to 18.5-inch prints. You put that on your foam board or whatever backing, your cardboard, whoever, and then you just cut the edges out. It's still like whatever that cost is for that print, it becomes worth it because piecing together, cutting it up, piecing it to printing it out, piecing it together, first cutting it up, doing the print and cut, and putting, new paper on there for each one, which I have techniques that made that go by faster, which was I used 30,000 mats and I always had my paper set up ready to go. And I had 2 printers that were printing out the prints at the same time. And then you have to print it out and then you have to glue it. It was just a lot. So I've learned, and I'm at a stage now where I'm about being more efficient, which leads to a higher profit margin than trying to DIY and nickel and dime my own business. I no longer nickel and dime my business. And I think that is the downfall of a lot of small businesses, startup business, and especially craft business, because we think that we're creative and we can do everything. You nickel and dime your business and don't realize how much money you're actually leaving on the table. Okay. So that's how that is. So I see someone here says, how do you make the contour cuts? There are several ways, but one of the ways that I do it, so I'm just going to cut up a piece that's already cut up. That's going to be easy to do. So let's say I wanted to cut this off at at his sock. All right. I'm going to use my draw polygon tool and I'm going to just start here and go around. I just kind of make some quick cuts, quick points, and then I'm going to double click, hold down shift, select all of this. I'm going to make it a corner point and click off. Double click on the line again, and then I'm going to go in here and use my edit points to contour it. So it does take work. It's not a click a button and it's done for you type situation. This does require some work and some skills and knowledge base on your part to get this done. We have a full class that teaches this, that goes over edit point. We have a class that's specific for oversized cuts and how to do this with, how to know what size to make it and measure it and all that. And we go over edit points. We go through it real slow, but we also have the 30-day training where we go through this step by step. I go through every tool and function step by step by step. All right. So once I have it contoured to that area, I'm going to select it and I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go over to modify. Did I duplicate this? I did not. I'm going to go over to modify and I'm going to crop, and that's going to keep the sock, remove the shoe. I'm going to go paste in front and then I'm going to subtract. That's going to remove the sock, keep the shoe. So now this is broken up. Okay. What other things can you print with the Roland BN20? So it allows you to print onto printable HTV for shirts or to put it on any fabric. I have done custom tablecloths with that. I don't really utilize my Roland BN20 for shirts. There's so many other methods, so I don't really waste it for that. But I have used it like if I want to put something on tablecloths. So you can print printable HTV. You can print onto printable vinyl. That printable vinyl can be used for anything. I've done helmet decals, window decals, wall decals. It's how I've made, it's now how I make my cupcake toppers. I've made like decals and basically stickers for gable boxes. I mean, I make posters, I make banners. So you can also use like the actual banner material. You can put that in there. You can print onto paper, make paper banners, make different types of like paper posters. You can print on perforated vinyl for the back of car windows. You can do window clings. You technically can, like if you wanted to wrap a casket, that's kind of the same thing. You print on that media, and that's what they use to, most times they're using latex printers, but you technically can use an eco-solvent printer and be able to wrap a casket with, I've wrapped, although it was with regular vinyl, if I wanted to be printed, I've wrapped a whole spider, the bike before with vinyl. And I could have done that by printing it out. You can make floor decals. You can make, it's just so much. The list goes on and on and on and on. It's just a matter of you constantly changing out that media because there's all different medias. Okay. I need one of your classes. Well, if you need 2 of my classes, right now we do have a special going on over on shop.hsink365.com. Yes, our classes are hosted through our academy site, which is 365 Creative Academy, but it's not as easy to do discounts and promos directly from that particular website. So if you go to shop.hsink365.com, here we go. So if you go to this site right now, all classes under the academy section, and then you can type in Memorial. For some reason, it's not showing up. I forgot to go look and see why it's not showing up. But for any of those, every class right now is buy one, get one 50% off. Buy one, get one 50% off is the promo that's going on right now. If you buy any of our Honestly Speaking products, so you buy one Honestly Speaking product, you get 60% off. We just had someone that saved $102 and some change, so almost $103. She got the products that she needs, and she was getting classes that were like, I think one of the classes like pay like 20 some odd dollars, and I think that was like a $70 class, but she saved $102 on classes because she purchased Honestly Speaking products and got 60% off of her classes. So that's the promo that is going on right now over on our website, shop.hsink365. It's automatic. You just add it to the cart and it's going to automatically take those off. So as far as wanting to learn it, the one that I recommend that everyone start with is going to be Essentials to Silhouette Studio. That's going to break down all of the tools. If you're looking to learn Photoshop, we have a Photoshop version of this. Yes, the Photoshop version does cost more because the program itself offers more value than Silhouette Studio. And then of course, this is my low ticket item. This is my gateway to kind of get in so you can see my teaching style. One of them. So we do have a Photoshop one that goes over a lot of stuff within that. That one costs a little bit more. But if you're wanting to learn Photoshop, I break down the essentials and what most people use. So I teach it from a standpoint of editing photos, but also just creating custom designs utilizing Photoshop. And that is a part of the discount as well. It's not just the silhouette classes, but if you click on academy classes or playbacks, there's a lot of different things here. And like I said, all of them are not here because it's only showing 22. We do have more. Some of them have been retired. They won't come back. The only time that they come back is if they are a freebie with something else. And I announce those at different times. I know some of those will be back not next month. We're in August. If you don't know, at the end of the month, it is our anniversary for 3 years from launching our products. And that's when I really got into, like, we had the full-on academy site. So we're going to have some discounts and things, and we're going to bring back some, kind of like how Disney does. We're going to bring back some classes out of the vault only for a limited time, and you got to get on those classes, because for me, once a class is about 1.5 years, 2 years old, it goes in the vault. It doesn't come back out unless it's like special occasions, because I normally end up teaching new classes. So our website is shop.hsink365.com. So again, that is shop.hsink365.com, which I'm going to put just co, because I don't know how TikTok does it with but just know it's that .com at the end. Okay. All right. Hey, I told y'all I'm here to answer whatever questions you have. But if y'all don't ask, I don't volunteer information. That was based off of a question that was at. I volunteer information when you're paying me, and it's for a class. But I am here to help. But if you don't have questions, you don't get any help. So, waiting for additional questions to be posted. If there are no other questions, we will close out. Will you be teaching a class on the glitter face trend? I asked because I trust your teaching. Don't have money to waste. What do you mean glitter face? I have no idea what you're referring to. What glitter face trend? I don't even know what that trend is. Don't know what that is. So if you could send me a picture, tag me in something, or like if it's on something on TikTok, hit share and send it to my inbox on TikTok. I have no idea what that is. Unless you're like, do you mean like with the glitter HTV, like they do with the football ones? And it's like layered ones? I'm not sure what that is. Sometimes I be missing these little trends. I think because of where I'm at in business, I don't really follow trends. Trends only last a little bit of time to make you money. I like doing things that's going to make me money all the time. I like classic things. So I'm not sure what that is. Okay, let me make sure I did not miss anything. What else can we print? Contour cuts. How do you add one picture? Needs to learn how to use silhouette. Okay. Let's see. Was this a question that was sent to me? Okay. Oh yeah. So it's like just HTV. So I don't. So it's basically, I would really need to see like how that picture was, because normally for that, from what someone just sent to me, it starts off in a software that's not Silhouette Studio. It's an Adobe one. Is it Adobe Create? And basically taking a picture, removing the color from it, and you're going to basically vectorize it to where you have the pieces that you can cut. And then you're just cutting that from different colors of glitter HTV. But to do that part, it is certain soft, like some people will draw it out. Like, I don't know the person that you're showing if they drew it out, because some people will just trace a picture to be able to have all the individual sections. And that's normally what artists do, and those who use like drawing tablets and things like that. And if you don't go that route, there are apps that will basically turn that into line art for you. And once it is line art, you trace it in Silhouette Studio, you release Compound Path, you separate it, and cut it from HTV. Yeah, so it's kind of like taking pictures, turning them into SVGs, using glitter HTV. So I mean, I've shown, to me, cutting HTV is cutting HTV. You know, I probably would just have the outline and I'm going to sublimate it to glitter HTV. A lot of times, like those type things, you have to have an artist that wants to pay money. I find that a lot of the tedious work where it is layering and putting all, like you have to wait for it to cut. The one that I'm looking at right now that was sent to me, there's a lot of little cuts in his hair. Ain't nobody got down with that. Like that takes a while to cut. So it's like if you don't have multiple machines, you're waiting for just all of the detail in that hair to cut. Some of these things look great. And it's like if I wanted to make it for myself, you know, maybe for a family member, I can see doing it because I'm going to save myself some money. Because somebody else should be charging a lot of money for how much detail is in that. But the hair alone in that has a lot of detail. The one that I'm looking at, the nose and the mouth has some really thin areas. His goatee is a lot of small cuts. So you have to think about the fact that you're going to have to, after it's cut, for everywhere that there is detail, you are going to have to weed all of that stuff. You have to weed all of that. And then with all the different colors, then layering it one by one, or maybe two by two, depending on like some of these outside pieces. Like you can lay down all of that black. You can probably lay down I would lay down the blue first and then the white and then his skin tone and then the highlights in the hair. And then there's like wings and stuff like that there. So that alone is a lot. I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colors, 5 different HTV colors, and pressing them. So those who have taken my pricing for profit, y'all know, give y'all a little gem for free. Every time that heat press has to close, it's a fee. It ain't no just, no. When I teach my students about business and making money, every time that heat press close, there's a fee to it. $100 to do all of that, and it's on a hoodie, seems a little bit low for me. I wouldn't be charging $100 for it, for all of that work and all of that weeding and that aggravation of all those little small pieces. But hey, you know, it might work for some people. But I do see what you're referring to. I can show, I'll do a video on just taking a photo. The photos does matter in this situation. So you want to have your client submit a couple different photos to you to try and get the best result. You may have to, even after it's done, help it out a little bit by messing around with your edit points or, you know, stretching certain areas, like increasing certain areas so that it cuts a little bit better. But I can add that to showing you guys how to do that. The apps that you can use to where you can take a picture and just turn it into line art. Okay. I know you guys don't see it on the screen. I didn't want to show that what somebody just sent to me. So she says, that's a beast, pricing for profit. My TikTok is Shakia the Professor 365. So you can put it in that way. Right now, the name says Shakia Startup Business Professor. Or it says Startup Biz, B-I-Z Professor. I downloaded drivers for my EcoTank 15,000 and get all the paper sizes. Do I wait, huh? Are you saying you don't get all the paper sizes? Do I reinstall the drivers? If you're not seeing everything. So when you go, it doesn't matter which Epson printer you have. Once you go to preferences. Also, I'm sorry. Do you have a Mac or do you have a PC? That's big because the settings are totally different in both of those. So do you have a Mac or do you have a PC? Okay, so PC. So when you go to your print settings and you click on preferences, If it does not look like this, your drivers are not installed properly, or you are on the wrong printer. Because once you just plug in the printer and like it finds the printer, it's going to have that printer on there. Let's see if I can. I think I've deleted all of mine. But I know that I have. Okay, so that says network. Because I know I have, I think my 7720, my 7210, one of those, I think I have. Okay, no, boom. So I have this one. And if I hit preferences on it, so you saw when I hit preferences on the 7840 before. So if I click preferences on this one, okay, pop up, the heck? It's going to give me a different window. And that's the one that's not the driver one. That's just the generic printer one. And so you're not going to see everything. But if you see that first one that I showed, that means your drivers are installed. And I would have to see like what's missing for you. Come on now. What the heck? Okay, there it is. So this is how this one would come up. So it's still a 7840. It's the same exact one that's there, but this is the generic one that kind of just populates because it was found on the network. And this one, you're not. If you go to advanced, you're not going to see all of the paper sizes. But when you install the driver, you go through everything and you go through that to connect it. Then you're going to see this print preferences, and this should have all of your settings here. So do you see this or do you see the other one when you go to print? I'm just going to go ahead while I'm waiting for you to put your to respond to that. I'm going to go ahead and just reset the room. Hello, everybody. I am Shakia, the professor of HSINK365. We are the home of Honesty Speaking. So we do, if you did not know, because someone today is like, oh my God, I didn't know that you sold ink and paper. So we do sell sublimation ink and paper. Our sublimation paper allows you to sublimate as low as 365 degrees, as fast as 30 seconds. It is going to be the most efficient paper on the market for sublimation. If you watch any of my live videos, I'm not lint brushing. I'm not taping stuff most times. We have very minimal ghosting. It doesn't bleed through. So I cut out a lot of those steps that people are traditionally teaching you to do when it comes to sublimation. I stand on the 1000% that our paper does not bleed through the back. So you don't have to worry about messing up your platen and getting on the next print. So that just eliminates a lot of steps and you become more efficient with your time. And then because it works at 365 degrees, you don't have to worry about utilizing that energy to get up to 400 degrees. And then again, time-wise, 30 seconds, 35 seconds, gone are the days of 60 seconds. So definitely check out our products on our website, shop.hsink365.com. And then also here, you can get access to our classes, 365 Creative Academy, where we help you to unlock your creativity in a wide variety of trainings, everything from business, marketing, silhouette studio, Photoshop, party favors and decor, memorial designs, text effects, making your own SVGs. Like we have a little bit of some of everything. Okay. And we have new classes for the fall. We're going to have a whole new lineup of classes. I'm excited about what's coming up for the fall season. But that's also another reason why we are discounting a lot of these classes, because we're about to have some new ones that are about to drop, and you'll be able to attend those live in color, get answers in real time, work alongside, for that to help elevate you and especially prepare you for the holiday season. So you can head on over to shop.hsink365, and that's where you're going to find all of that. I come on and I do these live videos. Do I have a dedicated time or a set time? Nope. I'm a busy businesswoman. Whenever I have a break, I like to get on live because we still run our print shop. I have other things that, we do within the business. I might be teaching a class. I might be doing a one-on-one session and things of that nature. So I don't always have set times, but whenever I have a free moment, I love to get online and I love to do these Q&A sessions. No question is off limit when we do these sessions. I do my best to try and answer them. I'm not worried about, it's a quick video. So our classes are very, very detailed. They go way past if you think I'm detailed in these live videos and you're like, oh, she teaches it here. I'm here to tell you, the classes, we be on it, okay? So definitely check that out. And when I'm live, if I'm talking about a specific topic, I don't entertain general Q&As, like just general questions. But when I'm gone and I'm saying, hey, this is a help session, don't be shy, ask your question. Something that you were thinking about, maybe you figured out before. It's like, hey, is there a better way of doing this? This is what I did, but I want to know how you would do it. We're open to those type questions, different techniques. So take advantage of the opportunity when I am on and I'm saying, hey, pick my brain. That has years and years and years. I've been doing this like in general for over 20 years. I'm 42. I started when I was 16, 17 years old. When I took my first graphic designing class, I've been a yearbook and newspaper editor, so I understand typeface and textile and arranging and designing. I've been doing design since 16, 17 years old. So there's a lot of knowledge, years and years and years. I have done the research and done the hard stuff to where I can easily break it down now. So don't hesitate to ask questions when you see me on, okay? So with that being said, let's move on and see if we have any other questions, okay? So yes, Professor, that sounds good, but that pigment ink, OMG, I love it just as much as sublimation. Yes, I love pigment ink because it's water resistant. When I first started doing like just colored shirts, I was using Jet Pro 3G. I have used the transfers for light and darks before, which is like your regular, y'all know Lexmark and like printers like that, and the colors were horrible and they just rinsed out as soon as you wash them. But when I end up doing the pigment ink, I was like, oh, wait a minute now. That's why these were getting a bad rep. People were using the wrong ink. Pigment ink is water resistant and those colors be popping. I have shirts from years and years and years ago and they look just like day one. Okay, thank you. I have to install the drivers. Okay, awesome. So yeah, once you do that, you'll see all of your settings and all of your print options. Do you have a video on how to use glyphs? I do. I do have one because I think I have. I will say that one is really old because I show you if you have Designer Edition Plus. And then if you don't, and you have to do it through the computer. Now for not Windows, for Macs, honey child, I can't help you. And how you guys access yours, I only can tell you how to access it from Windows, but I think it's something called Font Book for Macs. Oh wait, I just realized I never went over the print and cut part. Hold on 1 second. So let me go back. I'm going to come back to yours, but I just realized I never went over the print and cut part for someone. Okay, so why is this release compound bound? Huh? Oh man, it's already cut out. Okay, so let's go. Okay, I'll just even use this one, right? So to do a cutout or to do print and cut, anything technically can be a print and cut, whether it is a PNG or a JPEG that you trace and detach, or if it is something that you create yourself with text, or if it's an SVG. If you can print it, you can do a print and cut on it. If you can print it, you can sub it. But we have all this white around it. We don't have an actual cut line. We have to create the cut line. If I double click on this, I'm only going to see 4 dots. So we're going to go up to the trace tool, which is going to open up the trace window. Here, you're going to select trace area, place your box around it, and it's going to kind of light up, right? You want to increase your threshold. The goal here is not to cover the whole thing in yellow, but it's to make sure that all of your edges are masked in yellow. Like you want to see yellow everywhere. Now, because this has this white section here, I am going to have to go up pretty much all the way to like 100. So 99, it's actually kind of fuzzy. So I'm going to use the drop down, like just the arrows. I'm going to go down until I'm about here. So this is what I want. And we're going to go trace and detach. Once I trace and detach that, we do have this little piece here that needs to be cut out. So we're going to have to do a secondary trace, but I normally start with a trace and detach. So just got to wait for that to do its thing. Lately, 4.3 has been acting kind of wonky. While we're waiting for that, make sure that you guys give this video a thumbs up. If you have not done so already, a simple, damn it, I knew it's going to happen. I knew it was taking too long. A simple wave, hello. You know, if you're just jumping on, go ahead and say hello, leave a comment that helps the broadcast, that lets Facebook and YouTube and TikTok know, hey, this is content that people need to see. Put this on their For You page, put this on their home screen. So right now, if I can just get everybody to wave and say, hey, Professor, that would be great. And make sure that you like the video. And I'm just going to restart Silhouette Studio because it was acting cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And as soon as I finish with that one, I'm going to come back to just showing about the glyphs, but we do have a dedicated video, and it's also discussed in our 30-day training on the day for text. Yeah, see, this time it didn't put anything in my recovered documents. That's why I saved it last time. All right, so we're going to go open recent. We're going to go here. All right. All right, don't act crazy now. Let's see. And I will say my computer has been acting pretty wonky. We're trying to figure out where all of my hard drive space went because I use a WD Cloud and I save it there. But for some reason, my C drive is saying, girl, I don't have no resources, which is affecting certain programs because even my Photoshop started acting crazy. So it might shut down again because it doesn't have the memory. It has memory, but for some reason, like my hard drive is saying that it's full, but I don't even see, I knew it was going to happen, but I don't even save anything to Silhouette, to my hard drive. But for some reason, it's been showing that my PC is full. And I know it's, and see, I took this off and it came back. So if you look at like the size of it and it's saying 935, my Google Drive is actually a 4 terabyte Google Drive. Like I pay for 4 terabytes of space on Google, but it's only showing 9.3, like 1 terabyte. So it's something with this, and whatever's on my Google Drive is over here. We've gone back and forth. So short of resetting everything, I don't know what thing I'm gonna do, but I have to remove some videos off. But yeah, it's making my Silhouette and making my computer act a little bit wonky. So yeah, Socio is going to act funky. I'm going to choose a different one to trace and detach. Although actually, I'll show you another way that you can do it and where you're not using trace and detach. So it's just the trace and detach part that sometimes, you know, becomes an issue because of how it's trying to trace it. So let's go again and open, and we're going to do this again and again and again. All right. So I'm going to go to, actually, I want to open up the other one. File, open recent. Disney Safari and Friends. Actually, no, I think that's the one. No, that's the one I need. Okay, here we go. All right. So let's do this mini. And we're going to go select trace area. Actually, you know what? Let's put her by herself. Okay. We're going to go select trace area, place our box around her. We're going to increase our threshold a little bit. And you can see here, I don't have to go up that high because I don't have all of those, like, so you can see how the other one, it was having a hard time picking up on all those lighter sections. So here we don't have to worry about that. And we should be fine with doing a trace and detach because we don't have a lot of open and broken areas along the side. See how easy that was? And so I'm going to click on that invisible background. So this was a PNG. We're going to move this out of the way. And so if I double click, I now have edit points around her. That means that it is technically ready to cut. She is set up for print and cut now because we now have those edit points, which means that's a cut line. Now I'm going to focus in on this middle section. So if you see, there is no cutout here. If I were to fill this in with color, that's going to be solid. So we have to isolate that. This is my preferred method of isolating that area. We're going to do another trace. You're going to take your threshold up until those areas are surrounded by yellow. So like the edges of it, and same thing in here. And then we're just going to do a regular trace, not a trace and detach, just a regular trace. Once you do that, you're going to click on the trace. Now, how I know I have just this trace, the part I just traced is my box is smaller. My selection box does not go to the end of Minnie Mouse, so I know I have just that trace. I'm going to fill that in with some color. Okay. Then I'm going to release compound path. I'm going to hold down shift. When you hold down shift, it allows you to select or deselect multiple elements. So I hold down shift, I click on them. It's going to deselect those parts, but leave everything else selected. And then I hit delete on my keyboard. So now I'm just left with those two little blue spaces in between her hand and her leg. So then we're going to drag and select, and we're going to go to modify, and we're just going to go subtract. Now, when I double click, you're going to see edit points in between there. So now the whole thing is ready to cut. If I were to add color, you see those cutouts. So that is the first part in setting this up. So even if you were going to do an oversized cutout, you have to do that part first to isolate it, and then you can contour cut, into pieces. But I'm just going to treat this as if we are going to print to 11 by 17 paper. You set your design page size to 11 by 17 just by typing that in. Then, of course, you want to have your cameo selected. You're going to place this on the mat and then shrink it down so that it fits. You want to turn on your registration marks. Okay. And this looks weird. Why she looks stretched? Girl, pipe down a little bit. Yeah. Whoever had that, she looked weird. I'm going to put her the right way so her hair is not a cone. I'm going to turn on my registration marks. I personally always take my thickness all the way up. It helps the machine read it better. You can choose to make your length small to give yourself more space, or you can max it all the way out. If I can max it all the way out, I max it all the way out. All it does is help it. It doesn't hurt it any. It just helps. Then over here, I'm going to just show my cut border, and I can probably rotate this to get a little bit more space. Nope, I'm still going to have to shrink it down just a little bit to fit inside. And if I can, I like to move this up. As a newbie, I don't recommend doing that. I recommend just kind of doing it as is, get a feel for that first. But I know this program like the back of my hand. I know my cameos like the back of my hand. So I go in here, I go to advanced options, and I take my bottom inset and I take it up right to the edge. The closer your registration marks are to the element or the subject, the better your registration is and the better your cut is, as long as it is a proper trace. Most people don't realize the reason why they have issues is not that they're doing something wrong, is that their trace was not ideal because they did not have a high resolution image, and it naturally has white areas around it. You don't see them because it's a PNG, but they are there. Okay. So once you have that, you print it out, you put it on your mat, and you cut it. That's all I can really I show the same thing every single time. This is what I do for print and cuts. If you're still having issues, it's something else. It might be the fact that you need to change out your blade. You might need to change out the cutting strip. You may need to use a different mat or just simply rotate your mat. But I won't know that because every situation is going to be different. You can just go through my whole troubleshooting checklist. But as far as how to do print and cut, I show it the exact same way every single time because that's how it works for me. Okay. Now, as far as glyphs, with the Windows computer, you can type in character map, and you're going to get this. And so let's say for I Love Glitter. At the top, it's your standard items. As you scroll on down, you're going to see some of those glyphs, although not in this section. I'm going to go back up. Man, where are they at? Those are in Arabic. Okay. But that's not all of them. That's kind of weird because it's definitely not all of them. I don't know why that's acting crazy. Okay, so let me see. One that I know that has glyphs would be that one doesn't. Okay, let's just go to Samantha font because I know that one definitely has glyphs. Well, dang. Okay, so Samantha, and you'll start to see all of your glyphs down here. So traditionally, without a program that where you can access the glyphs, you would select on it, you would click on it, and you would put select. Yes, they are super small. You can barely see it, but you would have to just kind of go through this and look for the differences in them and just hit select. Then you would copy. Then in your design software, we're going to click on here and we're going to paste. You're going to see two boxes because the font has not been selected. Once you click on it and you go to your fonts and you make that Samantha, you will then see the glyphs. Now, Photoshop, Illustrator, like Adobe ones in your characters and things like that, you'll be able to access your glyphs. But depending on the program that you're using, you may have to do it this way. Now, Silhouette Studio does have a glyph guide, which is this second G. So when you click on that, it shows you all of the glyphs, and you just have to scroll down and find it. We do sell a glyph guide for the Samantha font. No, it does not just give you the font. You do have to still pay for the Samantha font, which you can get from Creative Fabrica and download it from there. But we do offer a glyph guide where all the glyph, like you see all of the glyphs all at one time. You don't have to keep scrolling. But this way you have to scroll and scroll and scroll and look for the glyph that you want. And then you can see where it's just going to put that in there. So that's how you use the glyph guide in Silhouette Studio. But if not, you end up having to go to your character map, copy it, well, select it, copy it, and then paste it. Okay. That's how you use glyphs. And if I go back to, I love glitter. Yeah, for some reason, these weren't coming up like on the character map, but it does have a few little glyphs here and there. But for some reason, these weren't coming up on the glyph guide, on the character map, but they come up in silhouette glyphs. And then I'll go like this. So if I put this one, so yeah, so it's just going to change the font. If I click on this, so that put that glyph there, but if I click on this and I make this like this, it's not going, well, it's showing this letter. I don't know why, because it's not a regular, but these go away because they are special characters. Okay. Do you have a large format printer to do the garden flags? I do not have a large format sublimation printer. So I don't. If I really want to do those, I would do them like I do towels, and I would piece them together. Yes, you can potentially see the line of demarcation, but yes, I don't have a large format sublimation printer. I am really team small. I like to do items that I can, pretty much do within 13 by 19. Only thing I really do oversized would be towels and blankets and things of that nature. And most times with blankets, it's not like a solid print. It is kind of broken up, but that's the only thing I will do with my small format or wide format printer. If I needed like a really big full print, I'm just going to outsource it. I'm going to order it. I've done it before. Have a company here, and I order a 36 by 36 inch sheet. Like that's their minimum. I ordered that, and then I can press it in sections. If still have to press in sections, but I don't like to print and piece together in sections like on a regular. I'll do it for a teaching or a training, but I don't do that on the regular. I am quick to outsource a print. Okay, let's see. Woohoo! More people are posting their design challenges. I love to see it. I'm just making sure that I'm not missing anything over here. Nope, I am not. All right, so we've been on for an hour and a half. If you guys have no other questions, I'm going to go ahead and log off, go pick up the kiddo. I thank you guys so very much for joining me for this live. I like to help. I like answering questions. Like it's a thing for me. It's a complex. It's a blessing and a curse. I love to answer questions. I constantly see you guys. Oh, there's nobody to help me. There's, people just don't help anymore. They want to keep all this. I'm saying ask away. And most times, we get some questions. We don't get a lot of them. I'm not sure if it's kind of well, show me something. I'll ask questions from that. If it's more so of that, like, you've mastered what you currently do. You don't think that there is a better way of doing it. To not even ask, hey, is there a better way to do this? Is how I've been doing it. Is there a better way of doing this? Like I said, it comes to printers, business, marketing, branding, setting up your business, choosing your name, doing a logo, all those different things, event planning, whether it's printables like chip bags, water bottle labels, or just printable labels, cake toppers, cupcake toppers, posters, banners, shirts, just different apparel like hoodies and shorts, hats, drinkware, whether it is with a eco-solvent wrap, if it is with vinyl, if it's with sublimation. These are all things that I have done. I am a whiz at cutting stuff. I love foam board. So I am being, when I come on, I say the Q&A, post your questions. If you don't, I'm telling y'all miss out. You'll end up having to pay for information from one of my classes. What did you say about the glitter face? Did you say you'll post a video later on? No, on the class. So I don't think I'm very strategic about what I do as classes. Some things end up being a waste as a class because people are saying they want a class so that they can be on and do it with you at the same time, and then they don't show up and they're just watching the playback. For me to do that, the main part of that is simply finding the app to basically turn it into line art. I can show that in one video. Now, if you are not familiar with cutting HTV and using HTV and knowing how to properly layer it, that is different. I would say if I did a class, I would not be doing anything that is super detailed because the time to cut that, waiting in a class for it to just cut the vinyl, people get bored. Like, I don't understand why people do those classes unless they say it's a class and they come in with everything already cut up. But if you're doing it to where someone wants to follow along with you, I don't see, like, those classes to me are not effective and they're not very efficient time-wise because you're just waiting for a bunch of other people to get it to cut out. And if they have issues and stuff like that, it's like, it ends up being a lot of dead air. I can't stand to have a lot of dead air. So that will be something where I could definitely do that as a video and just walk you step by step. My videos are very detailed. A lot of people turn to classes because they don't do videos like this. They don't do tutorials, or if they do, they only post it in their group. They're afraid that they're going to lose money. I look, my classes still be popping, whether I do a free video or not. I like to do classes when I know that it creates an environment where it can be hands-on and it can be interactive. And that's not something that I really see being interactive, because if I do a class, you will have to do it off the picture that I give you, and you're going to have to learn from that. It's not going to be, okay, well, I want to learn this, but I want to use my picture. I want to be able to have this ready to go for the order that I've taken on. I don't know what I'm doing, but I promised somebody this order, and now you have all these 30,000 questions, and I can't really help you because you can't even share your screen. So yeah, I'm very, very, very strategic in what I do as classes. So I can show, and okay, you know what? The other thing would be, if I did a class, it's not going to necessarily be about doing it. It's going to be for you to understand which images you can and which images you can't do, because there are going to be some where there's not enough contrast to get that trace on it. And you're going to have to manually do certain things. So I can do a video, and when I do a video, I'm going to probably choose one image. And hey, this is some of the steps. Now you can play around with it. I'm going to show you the apps you can use and how you're going to accomplish that. But every picture is going to be different. If it's an image that's a low resolution image that they're giving you, you're going to have a very hard time. So those are the factors to me that are teachable. Understanding this picture ain't gonna work. So there's no sense even wasting your time. You're gonna end up being frustrated because your client gonna give you this jacked up behind picture. You're gonna be like, oh, well, I did it before with this one, but it don't work with this picture. They give you this jacked up picture. It got 30,000 people in it. It's not zoomed in. They're like 30,000 miles back because they want a full body shot. But for this, you only want the chest area. So trying to get those details, it's just not going to work. So I like to teach about those factors so that you don't waste your time on images that are not going to work. Like, that's kind of how I do that. Okay. And that's the thing. So I get nervous about people spending money with people who don't offer substance. And that is true. Now, if it is something that you really want to do, I would say set up a one-on-one session with me. I cannot say that I will, be rushing to put that as a class, because what I find valuable in that lesson, you may feel like, man, I didn't learn anything from this, because I'm not just going to go and jump to, okay, let's just cut it. Like, let's just go and trace this. Like, you have to understand what image is going to work and what is not, and what picture is going to work and what picture is not going to work. It's going to be knowing how to edit it to, sometimes you can use Photoshop to use your levels like that. I like Photoshop for photoshopping. So in Photoshop, it's things like your curves, your levels. I'm just going to click on this one just for the heck of it, just so I can get to it. So like, hey, what the heck is that? Okay, there it is. So when you go to your curves, when you go to your levels, you can go, you can basically desat, which like take out a lot of the saturation. And so you can amplify. You see how if I take up the darker part, how washed out that becomes. But if I go and I bring that down, it's going to make the darker area stand out more. Same thing if I pull this level up, if I move it in, so if I move this in and like, so that is learning Photoshop for that. And it changes depending on the picture. It might be that you need to take your picture to black and white first and then work on the curves and the levels. And then from that, you're going to save that as a PNG file. And then you're going to go and put it in a vector program where you can trace it. So it becomes a lot of steps and not just, okay, hey, y'all, we're going to do this over and in an hour. To me, I think that's the biggest scam ever, to where you're going to say that you can learn all of this. I'm going to teach you to design it. I'm going to teach you how to cut it up and how to press it. and I'm gonna do all of that in an hour. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no effing way. So yeah, you want to take my class, you got to be willing to learn. And that's about it. Okay. I also want to know your thoughts about the waterproof stickers for water bottles. I agree. That's why I'm coming to you, because I felt I've learned from every class I've taken. Yay. Okay, wait. So what do you mean by waterproof? See, y'all, again, it's stuff that's out there. I guess y'all see it as new or see it as trend. So when I think of waterproof stickers for water bottles, what type of water bottles are we talking about? As in like this? So like this type of sticker? Or this type of wrap for water bottles? Or like a water bottle, like a tumbler water bottle, and they're putting like, do you mean like the DTF UV stickers? Okay. The question was, I'm sorry, I missed that. Do I need a large format printer to do the garden flags? If it is larger than 13 inches, then yes. Or you can piece it together. I thought you said, do I? I'm sorry, meaning do I do it? So my bad. Do you need a large format printer? Depends on the size. I know I know a very while ago you showed how to make an image look like it's on top and underneath. If you can show that process again, it looks like it's on top and underneath an image. I don't know that. You mean like it's interlocked like letters, or you mean images? I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. It's not new, but yes, a tumbler, and no, not DTF. So if it's not, so that would just be like the same thing this is printed on. This is technically adhesive vinyl. And I just put it on a water bottle, but you would end up printing to a eco solvent or latex printer. That's the only thing I can think of. If they're doing anything with sticker paper, with a regular desktop printer, that's a hell no for me. Like if it's not a novice, like if it's like just for a party, like I did some with styrofoam cups, and my sister, she was doing them before with sticker paper. Now she wants to always do them with the decals. So I personally would not market and sell like a whole bunch of them as if they're like quality. Like it would be marketed as something that's not meant to last. It's meant to be disposable. If I'm using any type of sticker paper, even if it's a waterproof paper, I don't worry about waterproof paper because I use pigment ink, and pigment ink in itself is waterproof if I'm using a desktop printer. And I'll just put that on something where it's really meant to just kind of decorate a disposable cup. But as far as like the Libby wraps and stuff like that, that is done with an eco solvent or latex printer. And it's a print and cut, and it's just printable vinyl. And then you're just going to wrap it around the water bottle or tumbler or whatever, if that is what you're referring to. So that's something I've done countless times. Like I said, I use printable adhesive vinyl for so many things, from helmet decals to cups to foam board. I put them on paper for my cupcake toppers. I've done some of everything when it comes to my eco solvent printer. And even before I had that, I would outsource those prints. Thank you. I was thinking about using it for some shot glasses for my, oh yeah. So I've done, I mean, I have a picture, like I have years and years. I'm mad that my other Facebook got shut down, but I've done even just regular colored vinyl. I've put those on shot glasses with people's names on them. You don't have to do printable for that. I just use regular Oracle 651. I put people's names on it. And to this day, they still show me their pictures. Like it's still on there. I have cups and stuff that still have 651 vinyl on. I just color one, cut it with my Cameo, put it on there, and it's permanent vinyl. It's lasted for a long time. So yes, I have done labels for different drinkware with vinyl. A portion of the image is underneath, the other portion of, a portion of the image is underneath, and another portion of the same image is above. Above what though? I'm so confused. Above or underneath what? Okay, so I have this. So what are we putting above and below and underneath? I'm a little confused. Do you mean like it's splitting something? I mean, like I just actually showed this one earlier today. I mean, we can end up doing this. I'm gonna put her. I mean, I've done that where it looks like she's coming out and this part is still out, but oh wait, you can't see that. So I don't know. So I mean, you have that. I don't know if you are referring to something going. So if I did a trace on him, yeah, you have to give me a little bit more information because I'm a little lost on what you mean by above and below, because what object are you referring to? Say her hand is in front and behind of what though? You can't make someone's hand, just their hand, be in front and behind of what though? But I mean, I can understand that. Like, if she's saying like a letter, words, I don't know what she means by, because she's just saying her hand is in front and behind. In front and behind of what though? It's different if it. That's what I was asking. Was it like a letter, a shape? So say a ribbon. You want like she's holding a ribbon? I'm lost. I think she's talking about the mini session when you had the football player jumping over the words. That's what I was asking. Was like, does she mean like words? Like if I were to have, I'm just going to put a box instead of words, just to make it easier. You mean like that? That's what I was asking. Does she mean like interlocking, or do you mean like that? Like the hand is in the front, the body's in the back? I'm just confused. Oh, okay. So it depends. Like, so it will be very like, so this is a little bit different because it's closed off, but something like this, it's a optical illusion. Um, so it's basically two different things. So this is the hand, and it's basically cutting that out to where it's in front. So your first step is going to be to trace and detach. That way you have it around the edges. Then you're going to take your words, your shapes. I guess since I did words this time, I did a box this time. This time we'll do BOGO 50%, because all classes right now are buy one, get one 50% off. So we're just going to go closeness, and we're going to fill that in, and we're going to go like that. So right here, okay? So you're going to duplicate this. So we're going to go copy, and then we're going to go paste in front. You're going to isolate just this area. You can do it with the box. You can do it with the circle. You can do it with any shape. Just depends on how detailed the area around it is. So for this one, I'm going to keep it real simple, and I'm just going to use, I used a square last time. I'm going to see if I can use a circle. Okay, just make sure that all parts of the hand is in there. You're going to hold down shift, click on the image, and you're going to crop it. That's going to give you the hand isolated by itself. So I can move this in and out, and it looks like it's splitting in between it. But it is nothing more than the hand being cut out, and it's on top. And something like this is technically a little bit more challenging because it's not an opening. You got to make it to where it is actually like, then you have to kind of play around with it and make sure that it is actually going through there. So then we're going to bring in front, and then you have to go like through, like you have to now use your contour, and you can't just do a regular shape. You have to so it'll look like it's going between there. And so then if I wanted it to go behind here, I would have to, I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing it, but I would have to have this. Oh, come on. So it's going to look like it's going through there. If it was and you now want it to wrap around, then that means this section now has to be right to the edge. Now you can do a series of like subtracting and stuff like that, but I'm just going to do it with edit points. So now it looks like, ah, dang it. It looks like it's wrapping around her hand. So everything is an optical illusion and moving things around. So that's how that is. All right. But I got to go. Time to go pick up the little one. Thank you guys so very much. Don't forget, all classes are buy one, get 150% off. If you buy a HS Ink product or honestly speaking product such as paper, ink, kits, and things like that, you can get a class for 60% off. And that is for a limited time. So go ahead and take advantage of those deals while they last. All right. Until next time, guys, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. Peace.